Hello and welcome back to my channel. So I've just come back 2 days ago from watching the premiere of Transformers 1 in London. Having come out of the film, I couldn't resist picking up the Prime Changer Orion Pack / Optimus Prime. I've always had the Studio Series version of the Optimus Prime toy, and I never really considered getting the Prime Changers version until I've seen the film. So today, I'm going to help you to sort of decide which version to pick if you were to only choose one. The Studio Series versus the Prime Changer. One shall stand and one shall fall. Now the Studio Series version I did paint. Bear in mind, he looks like this stock. He has that pre-yellowed grey plastic in all the silver parts you see here. It's not really that appealing, to be honest, out of the box. So if the yellow plastic is not your type of thing, then you could probably end the video now and just choose the Prime Changer version right here. The Prime Changers version features a way more vibrant color scheme compared to the Studio Series. However, that also includes a more cartoonish windshield color, this baby blue. There's plenty to think about in terms of paint schemes already. Both versions of Optimus Prime / Orion packs comes with identical accessories, or almost identical accessories. Prime Changer also comes with the Matrix. All you have to do is just lift up his chest, lift this up as well, and there you have a very, very nice Matrix. Now let's compare the Matrix first and foremost. I'm going to say that I very much prefer the Matrix from the Prime Changer version compared to the Studio Series version. The Prime Changers version is way more fun to handle. It's just a very special Matrix design that I've never seen in a lot of toys before, which is that it features a sort of a 5mm peg and half the Matrix cut off, so he can effortlessly hold the Matrix in his hand. Like so. And that does look nice, doesn't it? I think more appropriately sized as well. Moving the Prime Changers off to the side, the Studio Series version isn't half bad either. It is just way too small, I think. Taking the axe off his hand, the Matrix just simply pegs into the chest like so, and just pry it open like that. It's in there pretty tight, which is a good thing, I think. There are these two like little transparent blue nubs that go into the sides of Optimus Prime's fist. And for my copy, it's easier said than done. It's not the easiest to peg these into the fist. Like on his left hand, it pegs in very, very nicely. And I hope it's only on my toy that on one side of the hand it pegs in nicely, and the other side it doesn't fully peg in, so it's always just slanted to one side like that. So in terms of the Matrix, comparing these two together, I have to give the win to Prime Changer's Optimus Prime's Matrix, because honestly, that is stunning. I even prefer the Prime Changer's Matrix over the SS86 Optimus Prime's Matrix, which is just the standard Matrix that comes with probably everyone who held the Matrix Galvatron. So this is, I think, Galvatron's Matrix. That's how he holds it, with one finger. So I do wish that all the Matrixes that come afterwards take a page out of Prime Changer Optimus Prime's book and includes a sort of 5mm peg, so he looks like he's actually holding the sides of the Matrix instead of just gingerly pinching it by the fingertips. The other accessory that both come with are these Energon axes. Again, hands down, the Prime Changers has the coolest take on the Energon axe I've ever seen, and I think this is the coolest accessory that ever comes with a Transformers toy. Let's put the cool one to a side. The Studio Series version just pegs it into his fist like so. Yeah, it does look nice. Both versions come with the axe in the wrong color. So in the movie, the axe is orange with sort of a blue glow. So I hope that eventually, since you have the mold right here, Studio Series eventually releases an Orion's Pax version with an unmasked head and manages to give us a correctly colored axe. So the Prime Changer axe is a snug fit onto the fist, and unfortunately on the side that the axe is meant to be pegged on, the hand is slightly loose, so you get a bit of a wobble like that. Look how cool this thing is. This thing looks like it just grows out of Optimus Prime's fist. Looks like he's grabbing the axe by his fingers like that. I love this look. Accessory wise, that's it for Prime Changers. The Studio Series version also comes with one more accessory that is this thing right here. And this is just an alt mode part. So weapon storage wise, it pegs it to the back like that. And, you know, since we're talking about weapon storage, let's store the axe on the back of Optimus Prime's back as well. There's two nubs on the side of the axe that sort of tabs onto the back of Optimus Prime. I've seen Sixo's video of the axe just flying over like it's a launching gimmick. It's not the best connection. I find it best if the axe is just angled like that and he's just cutting his own butt. So weapon storage wise, it's not the best for Studio Series version. So the Prime Changer version, there's a tab on his back and there's a tab on the axe, and they just fit in very nicely and snugly like that. So accessories and paint job, I have to give it to the Prime Changers version. Now let's quickly touch on scale. I have seen the movie, and I don't think this is too much of a spoiler, but I'll bring an Alpha Trion in the middle, let's say. The Prime Changers version is a tad shorter than Alpha Trion, and the Studio Series version is way taller. I do look forward to seeing the Studio Series of Alpha Trion if they ever do that character, but in the movie and in the trailers as well, he does tower over Optimus Prime in his cogged form. I think scale-wise, given the existing characters that we have, the Prime Changers version scales nicely with the Alpha Trion that we have. If it's Bumblebee, then I think the Studio Series scales nicer with it, but I think the main thing I want to scale with is Alpha Trion right now, and for that, Prime Changers takes the win again. Articulation is pretty standard on the Prime Changers version, so the head looks up all the way. It's really cool and really dynamic. His arm moves up like that. It doesn't have that hot rod shoulder curse and just rotates freely like so. Again, moves up perfectly fine. Moves down, rotation at the bicep. The shoulders are on a ball joint, so you get some outwards movement there as well. The smokestacks on both versions are on 5mm ports, so they can both angle down and freely move around. There's no wrist articulation on this toy, but I think this is a plus given that it hides comfortably in Alt Mode compared to the arms just sticking out in the Studio Series version. But that's for transformation, and we'll get back into that later. Rotation at the waist, his legs kick up a tremendously good amount, out really nicely as well. Rotation at the thigh, and a almost 90-degree bend, or I think it is a 90-degree bend, but unfortunately he has no ankle tilt. Articulation is always a highlight in the Studio Series figure. They feature similar transformations, so the head also looks up all the way. His shoulders can do that as well, so again, not suffering from hot rod shoulders. Rotates freely 180 degrees, and then there's a swivel at the bicep, bend around 90 degrees, and he has wrist articulation this time. Rotation at the sort of upper torso. And now this belt thing is sort of my enemy on the Studio Series figure. It always comes loose, so I had to sort of thicken the nubs on the side here to make it sort of more stable. So I just lift it up like that, and he does feature a high kick as well. Outwards, nicely. Rotation at the thigh, bend over 90 degrees at the knee, and bend at the toe, and a ankle tilt as well. So in terms of articulation, there's no question that Studio Series takes the win, but the Prime Changers version is not too shabby as well. If you take a look at the details, obviously the Studio Series version is way more detailed. I do prefer the Studio Series head sculpt with the longer ears, and that is just what I associate more with Optimus Prime, and I think that carries over to how he looked in Transformers 1. This is the Prime Changers head, but unfortunately I think neither of these heads look identical to the movie. So I do again hope that Studio Series do come out with their Orion Pax version, because these head sculpts aren't, they're not doing it for me. And oh gosh, the Studio Series looks super nice in this lighting. But I used Tamiya's metallic red and metallic blue, and used a chrome pen and brushed it onto the grey pieces to achieve this look. It is a very simple custom, but you shouldn't really have to customize your figures out of the box yourself, Let's take a look at the transformation. So the transformation, let's first talk about the SS version, because that came out first. So to transform the Studio Series version of Optimus Prime, first what we have to do is rotate his head and flatten it up like that. Press it into the cavity like so. Bring his chest upwards like that and free up the grill. Just like the standard Optimus Prime toys. Rotate his waist, flip his toes in like so. Now rotate this so it faces outwards like so, and do the same on the other side. Rotate this so it faces outwards like so. Now you can peg these two together, shift his butt piece upwards, and then using that, rotate his feet back like so. I find it best to rotate the fists now, and they tab in the alt mode nicely, and if you don't, they don't tab into the alt mode. Rotate the shoulder like that and press it into the side of the chest. There's a tab on the grill that you can tab the shoulders into like so. Peg the fists to the side of the legs like so. There's just 5mm pegs that fit nicely into the fists now that you've rotated the fists around. And finally, rotate this canopy section and press it into the toy. And there you have Studio Series Optimus Prime in his Cybertronian alt mode. Now to transform this one, personally I think it's a lot more enjoyable to transform this into his alt mode compared to transforming the Studio Series into his alt mode. But one downside with this toy is his parts pop off a bit easier compared to the Studio Series version. So to transform him, just press his head backwards like so, similar to the Studio Series. Open up his chest, bring the grill downwards like so, and then now we have to unhinge the arms. Bring it down. Look, the arms just pop off like that. So that is one downside for it. Open up his legs and just shift it upwards like that. And they tab into place. Again, do the same on the other side as well. Open up his legs, rotate it inwards so it halves it, and then just close it back up like that. At this point, you can peg them in together. And let's continue with the transformation by rotating it 180 degrees and leave it at that. Fold his legs back like that. Bring these pieces down like so. And now we can nicely close the head in like so. So there's two tabs here. That's going to tab into the grey pieces like so. Tab the shoulder piece in and tab the forearm piece into the back of the cab. Now there's these two nicely placed slots that's going to tab into the underside of the toes. Press these in, and if the legs ever come loose, just tab them in again. And there we have the Prime Changer Optimus Prime in his alt mode. One thing you have to do, or you can do, for the Studio Series version is to tab in the guns, and there you have a more armorized version of the character. Let's do a better comparison and just rotate these smokestacks outwards like so. The scale continues where the Prime Changer is way smaller than the Studio Series. Weapon storage wise, they're both pretty good. Using the tabs on the sides of the axe, just peg them to the ends of the shin, like so, and that stores in very, very solidly in alt mode. It is a bit fiddly to do. And now let's bring in the Prime Changers and slot in his axe. So again, similar thing. Open up his legs like that. Now this thing is very, very fun to do. There's two holes on the sides of the axe, orientated so the hands are upwards, and then just, you see these two slots? Just fit those in around the axe. That's it. There's a 5mm port that's going to house the 5mm peg on the inside of the axe. So just drop it in, and you're going to hear a nice click, and that locks everything in. As a toy, I much prefer the Prime Changer compared to the Studio Series, but if you're looking for detail and sort of screen accuracy, then Studio Series is the way to go. The Studio Series features visible fists on the side of his alt mode, whereas in the Prime Changer's version, his arms are tucked in nicely in the back of his alt mode like that. Again, having seen the movie and from the trailers, the back of the Studio Series is more screen accurate compared to the Prime Changers. You've got these nice yellow painted tail lights that's featured in the film, whereas these ones are just his shins. Overall, looking at the car, I definitely would think that screen accuracy wise, Studio Series knocks Prime Changers out of the park. Price wise, this one in the UK is £24 and this one is £20. There are some places like Entertainers that had them for £17, so that's a £7 difference. I've seen people sell these for about £15 as well on the aftermarket. So again, about a £5 to £10 difference. You get a smaller toy, but I think a more enjoyable experience personally. I think that these two are going for different looks. Like the Studio Series version is going for the Optimus Prime look, whereas the Prime Changers version is going for the cogged Orion Pax look. We do see that in the trailer, Optimus Prime with the glowing matrix features a wider windshield chest piece, whereas Orion Pax features a more compressed window and the middle parting is basically non-existent. It's hard to say that because they both come with masked heads that's only featured on the Optimus Prime mode of the character. These two can coexist, and this could be Orion Pax, and this could definitely be Optimus Prime, and that's how I'm seeing them on my shelf. If it was for me and I had to choose which one stands and which one falls, the Studio Series is the one to fall. And it looks like my son has the same taste as I do. Now let me know what you think about these two in the comments below. Which one would you choose? But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Please check out my other videos if you'd like. But again, thanks for watching, stay safe and goodbye.